Okay, so welcome back to Renegades. We're going to go and continue with the single province creation. Now, I've done a bit of tweaking. On the left-hand side here is what I started with the single 1 mile by 1 mile allocations. But over here, I basically seem to have found that this looks a little bit better and looks a little bit closer to that. Now, a lot of this will sort itself out in the final pass using paint.net, but I just wanted to try and bridge the three of these land masses here together a little bit. So anyway, we're going to continue on. So I'll copy that, and then we'll paste it down into the next part of the creation. So what I've got over here is suitable for creating an entire barony, but what I'm going to do is put it into this location here. Alright, so that's now allocated. I might just take this opportunity to clean these up so that they are empty, because this is me copying and pasting from the I copied this file as a direct copy of the test barony, and so all those pixelated images are from the test barony creation process. Okay, so the next thing is we need to allocate territory. So what I've got is all the towns and villages, farms and hamlets are on the right hand side here in the icon part. So we'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to go back up to here and show you how it works. So for the purposes of allocating resources to places, whenever people are referencing something in a province, there are two forms of reference in terms of grid reference. There's the grid reference that's created in Excel, and then there's also the cell location in paint.net. So both of those methods can be used, but I'm just going to go ahead and just copy and then paste the icon into a location that I think is suitable. Then I'm going to look at the grid reference, which is Papa 13. And as I go, I'm going to copy and then paste the allocation to a location on the map. And then I'm going to determine which location that's. What we've got, Alpha Golf 16. And just go through the motions following this process and allocating all of the icons to the map in a spaced out so that they're not all jumbled in the same place. Delta 21. So I know that this might seem weird, but I know that the backstory of why these fortifications were built in the Earldom of Fellini. They were built as a bit of a competition between the four rival imperial priesthoods, and this is pre-War of the Gods. Alpha Echo 30. So yes, they competed and they came up with this little, let's create all these fortifications in our own particular style. Sometimes multitasking, I can sometimes talk and work at the same time, but sometimes not. So a bit of rambling going on. But I'm just wanting to show how this works and how people need to consider the placement of these things. 023. So I know that it's a bit time consuming. I'm just going to try and crank it out as fast as I can. It's just really a matter of placing them in a way that they're not close together. Whiskey 8. Now the other sensible thing to do would be to actually find the locations. There's another trick I basically forgot to use just now, which is clicking on the cell and then working out. So that's Bravo 13, and then to copy and paste into Bravo 13. So a lot of this allocation, there's a line between it being just pushing cells around and it becoming a piece of artwork or whatever. Whiskey 14. The main thing is it does take time. There's nothing that can be done about it. You can always get somebody else to do it, but they will then become the author of it. So, I mean, just for people who want to take a little bit of pride in, if they want to be a baron or a lord, that they actually do it themselves, and then people will see that work and respect it, even if they don't like the person. Juliet 14. Oh, yeah, no, that's not Juliet. That's India 14. India 14. Main thing is, no, you don't need to like each other. You just need to work effectively with each other. And it seems like there's an undercurrent of people, when they decide they don't like somebody, they refuse to work with them. And the fact is that the world doesn't work that way. You kind of need to not put up with people's shit, but try to work effectively together to accomplish a common goal. So M22, Mike 22. Because yeah, I can't think of any other way that this 20-year campaign is going to work unless people learn to work together regardless of their differences, and maybe just a little bit more forgiving about people's differences. X-ray 22. I mean, no one could be perfect for each other. There's some deal breakers that I find it difficult to work with certain behaviors, but as long as the majority of Mike 8, as long as you can put up with the majority of the person, what they think, and the most important thing to me is reliability, that you can rely on them. When they say they'll do something, they'll do something. So you don't have to worry about them not fulfilling their obligations. Papa 2. So yes, rambling away. Papa 2. Yeah, so these white ones are the towns, then there's the villages, which are in grey, and the green ones are hamlets, and the brown ones are farms. So don't worry too much about Alpha Charlie 21. Don't worry too much about the fact that they might be close together at this point. Main thing is that they get allocated. The population density is not. I mean, really, most of these places are underpopulated. Like there's a town that could have 1,000 people living in it doesn't have anywhere near that many. So Alpha Mike, oops, no, sorry. Alpha Juliet 25. Now I am finding it a little bit difficult. This is my first attempt to do an island. And there's so much water. Actually, I'm going to change my mind about this one. So I'm actually thinking that I'll chuck this one out in the middle. So Yankee 18. Yankee 18. The reason is that for the purposes of distribution, I mean, unfortunately, this looks like we've got this area here, just got lots of hamlets. But anyway, I'll run with it. And then I'm going to put over here at Alpha Juliet 25. Now I did make I did create almost like a template for the locations so that people could cheat away. Golf 10. So the cheat was that people would just grab the template and then put it over the top of their map. But for the purposes of this, I'm just going to do it manually, and it's a pain in the ass. But I'll keep going, and I'll complete this and then come back to it in the next video.